Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am truly excited and honored to be here today to be part of this celebration of the announcement of Donnie and the extension and announcement as permanent manager of the Pirates. And I want to start by welcoming some important folks who are in the room. Important folks, period, and certainly important to Donnie. His parents, Tom and Evie, are here. It was really awesome to meet you earlier today. Thank you for being here. Special. Donnie's mother-in-law is here, Carolyn. Thanks for being here, Carolyn. And then, of course, Carrie's wife, Carrie, and the boys are here. Brett, Luke, and Brooks, and gussied up, did that quick change. That's pretty good. Also want to just say thanks to Bob and Travis, who were just really engaged and incredibly supportive through this process that led to this point. Let's say a couple things. As we were flying back from Atlanta last night, I was thinking about, and this morning I was thinking about the last 6 years working with Donnie, and there's a lot that we've experienced together. There's a lot that I've observed and we've learned about each other, things I've seen, and a lot that goes into the reason why we're sitting here today together and the reason he's the right person to manage this team. It did keep coming back to one simple theme for me as I thought about that. And it is simple, but so hard to actually do. And that is that for 6 years, I've only seen Donnie do things and say things for two reasons. One is to help somebody else, and the other is to help the Pirates win. And that sounds simple, and that's also incredibly hard to do every hour of every day, and incredibly powerful. And because he's done that, he has earned trust in that clubhouse, throughout the organization. He has credibility. He has built the foundation to be able to influence us going forward in the most positive ways. And he also has all of the experience and skills and judgment necessary to do this job at the highest level. I'm very confident he's the right person for this job. Fired up, keep working with you, man. Take it away.
Thank you, Ben. Honestly, I'm truly honored to be the guy to lead the Pirates and going forward, and grateful for the trust from Bob, from Travis, from Ben, and most importantly from the players and the fans. And before we get to that side, I just wanted to echo and start with some thank yous. My wife Carrie, talking last night, really, it's so hard. Baseball it's awesome. There's a lot of ups. There's also a lot of downs, and especially for a baseball family going through it, couldn't do this without you. And for the boys, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it, a lot of things that we get to do as a family, and also some things that Dad misses with baseball games, but just appreciate you guys. For my parents, the support, growing up here in Pittsburgh, and everything you've done for me, for my mother-in-law, just thank you. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Big T and everything that he meant to me as well through my career. And Carrie's dad was instrumental for me as well. I am gonna thank Neil too a little bit, and my brothers-in-law, Matt and Sean, have meant a lot, as well as my sister Ashley and my brother Andy. I think we all come from a place that there's a lot of people that lead into all of our lives and how we become who we are because of them. And I could go on and on for, probably an hour on people that were that for me growing up in Pittsburgh, going to Mount Lebanon, Point Park, being from the city, and, pouring into me to make me who I am today. And just really thankful for a lot of people that have done that for me. Getting back to the honor of leading the Pirates and the trust in me from the Pirates organization, and also from the players and the fans, and really have a lot, would not be here if it wasn't for the players and the way that they responded this year. And we had a really tough start to the year. The expectations are high. The expectations are high going forward from here on out. And I take responsibility in that, leading the charge in that, and really could not have done it this year without the players responding in the way that they did and out on the field and working every single day tirelessly to get better. And I think that in thinking about the players and thinking about being from the city of Pittsburgh, I was a fan first. You know, growing up, 1992, Francisco Cabrera ripped my heart out just like it probably did everybody in Pittsburgh, and remembering that moment. And I was talking to Brian Lorecki earlier today. He was actually a coach for me in the Tigers system back in the day, and I made sure I told him that he ripped my heart out in that moment. That was gut-wrenching, and that's something that still drives me. You know, I was 12 years old when that happened, and it still drives me to this day. And I understand Pittsburgh fans, and because I am one, and they're passionate. They're relentless. It's going to be on both sides. I know that when we are winning here in Pittsburgh, the fans are going to be there, and we also hear it whenever we're not doing the things that we need to do. And that's what drives me. That is what drives us every single day to be the best version of ourselves, to be the best version out on the field, and to work tirelessly towards bringing winning baseball back to Pittsburgh, which we are going to do. We've taken strides this year in doing that. We are certainly not there yet. We're on the track to get there, but we are on the way. And I think that the culture in the clubhouse, the players' commitment to each other, to winning, and honestly, in representing Pittsburgh the right way, the way that I've known the city as a blue-collar, hardworking town that does those things every single day, that's the standard that we expect from our players, to show up and work tirelessly. We talked a lot this year about earning respect in how we do that every single day, and it never stops. It never has stopped. From, you know, I look back for myself being from Mount Lebanon, going to Point Park, wasn't D1, but finding a way then through other people that I spoke of that poured into me, Al LeBerry, Steve Aramis, people that were instrumental in me becoming the baseball player and the man that I am. And I think that as we talk about that respect factor and how we earn that every single day, that was a challenge that we presented to the players, of show up every day to earn it. And I think that the one thing that I wanted them to know was that as their manager, I was going to fight for them every single day. And out on the field, regardless that we're playing against the other team, I know that we've made jokes about it, that I'm pretty mild-mannered most of the time. I got tossed out of a game pretty quickly, and it wasn't planned. It was part of that. I felt that inclination to earn it and to have their backs. And I think that going forward, whether it's the players, we're going to go out and we're going to work tirelessly. I'm going to work tirelessly to hold the players, the staff accountable to that. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the staff this year too. Going through what we went through, finding a way to rebound, and yes, we didn't get to where we wanted to get to, where we expect ourselves to get to, but the staff was instrumental in, I couldn't have done it without them, in working to earn that respect. And I think that for the organization, to the fans, to the city of Pittsburgh, I will work tirelessly, fight for you, fight with you, to help make the Pittsburgh Pirates the best team possible and to bring playoff baseball back to the city of Pittsburgh.
All right. Can you open up for questions now?
So first off, Donnie, congrats. You inherited a tough spot when you took over. Was it ever overwhelming for you? And when did you finally feel like you settled into this role?
It was tough. Settling in, I think you're always going through learning. I would say after the All-Star break, started to slow down a little bit. You know, it was, up until that, it was really a fire hose. But as far as like, still learning, still growing, still trying to figure everything out on the day-to-day, on the communication, on everything that goes on, it's always evolving, and we're always fighting to earn that respect.
Donnie, congratulations. What do you feel you did to earn the players and management's respect?
first, thank you. And the best advice that a lot of people gave me was to be myself and to be authentic to myself in every single day. And I hope that the players felt that Donnie Kelly, the bench coach, was the same Donnie Kelly, the manager. And I hope that Ben in the front office felt the same thing, because I think that is my goal, is to show up every day and be the same guy working tirelessly to help other people be the best version of themselves.
Okay, I know you're used to operating year by year in the baseball world in a sense. Do you think that helped you, whatever you were taking over as manager, just that approach of being able to take it a year at a time? And I know you touched about how you want to grow, in this offseason. How do you want to see that will continue?
Yeah, really good question. And it was, as a player, never had a multi-year deal. I know Carrie and I joked when I first started coaching at Houston, it was the first multi-year deal that I'd ever signed in baseball. But it is true. It's referencing earlier with the family. It's baseball is awesome, and it's also challenging. And when you deal with the uncertainty of a player, and I think the one thing that was ingrained in me from playing and not having the multi-year deal is you show up every day to earn it. And that is something that in talking to players, it doesn't stop. Even, throughout till the end of your career, you never stop fighting for that respect. And I think that is, something that is vital what was vital for me as a player, and learning how to deal with, year-to-year stuff, and also for us going forward. And honestly, I really didn't forget, but Jim Leland has been, as everybody knows, hugely instrumental in my career. Jim never gave me a multi-year deal. It was something that he ingrained that in you, that you were showing up every day, fighting for that respect to earn it. And I know we joked about it with some of them, like we talked about exit meetings. I don't know if you were in there, Ben, but we were talking about the exit meetings, and somebody asked about exit meetings with Leland. The only meeting I was in with Leland had exit was when I was being exited back to AAA. But that is how you get formed, and how you fight for that respect.
Donnie, did it feel like an audition, like during the season, or were you so caught up in the moment on whatever that day challenge was that you weren't thinking about sort of I hope I do a good enough job to sort of have this job in 2026 and beyond?
Yeah, I did not feel like it was an audition. I did not treat it like it was an audition. Really tried to own it and treat it like I would if I had a multi-year contract. And I think that's really been my approach, even to the question that Alex asked about every single day is showing up like that to earn it. And going into it, I didn't want to get outside of that, just treating every day, really treating every day like it's your last. And how do you have that mindset going into it and try to be the best version of yourself every day? And I think if I would have maybe put more pressure on yourself, I really didn't treat it like that, just treat it like it was my job right then and there and that day to be the best version of myself. And I hope that that's the way that it came across.
Ben, you obviously had a lot of faith in Donnie from the very beginning. When did you kind of come to the decision that this was a guy that you felt was the right one to extend?
Well, I think it builds over time. Certainly, I think back to, we worked together for 6 years, so we're always thinking about, well, what is next for someone? What could someone do? How do we help them, develop to get there? And we're all part of that and helping each other do that. So we've been probably thinking about it for a long time. We faced a difficult choice, obviously, earlier this year. We felt that we needed to make a change. It was obvious at that point Donnie was the right person to manage. And at that time, we made the choice, let's commit to 2025 and see where we are. And reserve the right to make a choice at that point. And so I think really over the course of the last 5 months, it's just become very clear. I can't speak to a specific day or moment, but it has built to be very clear for all of us that this is the right choice. And I think one thing that stands out, there's a lot that had led us to that clarity, but one thing that stood out to me really clearly is that he was so willing to go after the hardest stuff. and he was effective going after the hardest stuff. And I'm talking about, you know, standards and holding the team to a standard, holding me to a standard, holding individual people and players to a standard, holding the culture to a standard, the difficult conversations that you have to do that. He was so willing to go after that stuff. A, it was only effective because of the trust he had built prior to that. But B, that's not easy to do when you don't yet have the permanency of the job. He did it anyway, and you know, among a lot of other things, that really stood out to me as you know, a great example of strong leadership.
Donnie, congratulations. When did you find out that you were going to get the permanent role?
Really,
When did you find out? It's all happened pretty fast.
yeah, really fast. Last night after the game, Ben and I talked and then finalized everything this morning. You know, it's humbling, man. I mean, like we've talked about, to grow up here in Pittsburgh, in Mount Lebanon, and go to Point Park, and to now be sitting here as the manager of the Pirates, it's extremely humbling. And you know, understand that it's on myself, the coaching staff, and the team to deliver on that. To deliver on, you know, it can't be. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard for baseball in Pittsburgh, and I think that we've laid a foundation for that, and totally believe that we are going to get to that, hold that standard, and bring playoff baseball back to Pittsburgh.
Donnie, what were some of the biggest challenges for you this season? How do you think you handled them in your first year as manager of the Pirates?
Wow, there were a lot, and to put the biggest ones on, I don't know. I think the one thing that you think you may understand, but you have no idea until you start doing it, is the communication and the daily schedule, if you will, of like your open door policy. You never know what is going to come in the door on any given day, and how you have to show up prepared every single day so that you can tackle the things that do arise throughout a day. You know, certainly was not perfect in communicating, and still learning on that, but finding a way to communicate with the players as best you can. I think just looking back on my career, and you know, talking about Leland and Lamont, I mean, for Gino to come out of retirement to join us on the staff, and I mean, means the world to me, and was so instrumental and helpful for me in understanding some of this stuff. He had done it before, and you know, to understand that communication and really rely on the staff on a lot of stuff. They did a tremendous job. You know, I think that if I was going to put one thing, it would be on that communication and the opportunity to speak to the media twice a day. That is always it's always fun.
Anything else?
Donnie, obviously you haven't had a lot of time to think things over, but do you anticipate staff changes to the coaching staff?
Yeah, well, Ben and I today started talking through that. I know we're going to have more discussions and you know, dig deeper on that. Not sure exactly where that's going to go, but we're currently beating that up today, and then I'm sure over the next couple days as well.
You guys gonna keep Gino out of retirement another year?
Oh man, God bless him. I can't. It was awesome, like that he came back and you know, joined us. It would be tough for him to. I mean, he only missed, I think, 2 series the whole time. It was unbelievable, the energy and what he was able to provide for us. It was great.
All right, thank you.